everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Velvetcast.
Hello.
Hey.
So cards on the table. We got some Velvet announcements before we get started on anything today. One, I wanted to apologize real quick. Videos might be a little sporadic throughout the next couple weeks, just because of just a lack of work and stuff, and it's just we got a lot of stuff going on here on the channel. So just want to let you guys know that ahead of time. The Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday thing may be a little off, but I can guarantee that there will at least be a Velvetcast every week. Whether everyone's on or not, there's gonna be at least one Velvetcast. If it's just me shouting into the void,
So Mitchell, what have you done this week, Mitchell? Oh yeah.
No, it's me putting on shitty voices and trying to be you guys.
I'd be very interested to see how you could
go.
do an impression of me for half an hour. That'd be interesting.
Oh my god. So the second thing on the list of things is we're in a current state where people are going back to school, or people are trying to do things with their lives. So once again, just more emphasis on the idea that there's going to be a lot of delays on some things, especially the current series that we're doing. But if you guys want, because it's so casual, me and Strider have been doing a lot of Twitch streaming for Overwatch, and last Saturday we did King of Fighters, which was really, really fun. So if you guys want, that's something we're constantly just throwing out there, if you follow us on Tumblr, we always post about 30 minutes to an hour before we get started. There's no guaranteed day that's gonna happen, but I can tell you at this much, we normally do it on Saturdays or around the evening, around 9:00. So if you want, and this I think this week we're starting competitive mode, because I want those golden Zenyatta orbs.
I have some things to talk about with the competitive mode, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And
we all have things to say.
And third thing, real quick, is with the announcement of more Twitch stuff, I might do some solo games. I don't normally like doing solo stuff, on videos and stuff, but I figured it could be fun to kind of, because I have been really into one game in particular that I want to get into with the weeks. So yeah, welcome to podcast episode 7.
What this means is that Mitchell does not like being alone, so come to his sports meet, guys.
Mitchell does not want to play baseball by himself. So guys gotta show up.
With the foam fingers, cheer him on.
That being said, we have some really awesome fans. A quick shout out to White Tiger, the Casual Space Jammer, and Maya, who are just the best fans. They've been showing up literally every stream just to mess around with us and make puns and have it's really great. I forget a lot of the times that we have fans, and then we do the streams, and I'm I actively look forward to having those guys on, and even if they don't show up, I'm you know what though, I bet they're having fun somewhere else. So yeah, that's all the boring announcement stuff I have to do. Let's get into weeks.
Okay.
This week is sponsored by Mountain Dew Whiteout. Mountain Dew Whiteout. When you're living in the South, and that's the way it is. So,
oh my god, I was just about to ask if you had a sound clip to put in. That's amazing.
I'm sorry.
Perfect. Mountain Dew, give us money, please.
You just I just post
this is how it happens. This is how we do sponsorships now. We advocate, and then we go to the people we're selling out to. Okay, give us money, please.
I'm gonna be really rusty on this episode.
That's fine. You're post surgery, so.
Yeah, I've taken my medication. I'm ready to do this. So, who wants to start weeks off this week?
I mean, I guess I can. Sure. It'll be short though, because I've been busy with other dumb life stuff. But let's see. What have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy, a little bit actually, not much, but still playing Final Fantasy XIV. Still slow, dude. Like, I'm level 46 now or something like that. I don't know.
It gets, once you get to 50, it
gets better.
Well, because that's when you get to do like Ifrit Hard and Ifrit Extreme. Like you get the more trials, you get more dungeons and stuff, and it opens up from there.
And I don't know. I'm getting the grass is greener vibe because World of Warcraft Legion just launched, and a lot of my friends are playing that right now, and I'm just like, maybe I should have bought Legion, but I'm being strong because I bought Heaven's Ward and I haven't even touched it yet. Besides, making a dragon person, but that's it. So I want to at least get to Heaven's Ward and try it out before I'm like done with Final Fantasy 14, So let's see. Other than that, man, this whole week was a blur. So yesterday actually, I had a friend from school over, like a friend, like a college friend. I hadn't seen him in a while, so he was over at our place, and we got this game. It's called Enter the Gungeon.
Oh, I've heard that one a couple times.
Yeah, so it's on sale on the PSN store. There's like an Innovator sale or something going on with the PlayStation Network store, so you can go check it out. The Witness is on sale, by the way. That's probably the biggest deal. You should absolutely get The Witness. It's very, very good. Nothing...
Is that like a puzzle game? Or
no, it's a puzzle game where the entire thing is just you explore this island, and there's a series of grid puzzles, and it sounds like it's the most boring-ass game in the world, but...
Like, I've heard that it's like certain people really like it, and then certain other people panic.
Yeah, I do think it's not a game for everyone, but for me, it was such a wonderful game in terms of like just how you iterate on a design of such a simple puzzle. It also melted my brain a little bit. The one thing is that it can get a little pretentious. Like the puzzles themselves are great, but everything around the puzzles, like there's like a story, not really a story, but like you'll happen upon like philosophical quotes and stuff like that, and it gets a little pretentious, just a little bit, but I mean,
Is it like Dear Esther? Well,
yes-ish in tone, yeah. And similar to Dear Esther, like you're just walking around this place with like no music, no context. You're just solving puzzles. Boards will show up, you walk up to them, and you solve puzzles. But there's like so many like oh shit moments, like when you solve when you figure out the solution to a puzzle. And like it turns the whole entire way you see the world upside down. It's really cool. It's really good at getting those aha moments out of people. So The Witness, great game. I think it's on sale for like $23 or maybe it's like mid-20s. I would assume it's $40 full price. I paid $40 and I wasn't upset with how much I paid for it. So definitely recommend to give that a shot. Maybe watch. I don't want to say watch a gameplay video because that's spoilers. Like. You could spoil that whole entire game just by looking up pictures of grids and you just draw a line through it, and that's not fun. Like you're not solving the puzzle, right? But anyways, check it out and see if it's your thing, and then like try to look at as little bit as possible before buying it. I guess is my recommendation.
It's sort of Undertale
yes,
advice.
Similar to Undertale, but for completely different. Like Undertale's for like story, I think gameplay reasons, but like Witness is all gameplay, so. And so anyways, so with Enter the Gungeon, that's the game I actually played this week. It's a roguelike game. I'm pretty sure you guys know what a roguelike is, like what that means? Okay. Yeah. Bitch, have you played roguelikes before? Okay, cool. So I've always been like off and on with the roguelike genre. I know like my favorite roguelike is probably Rogue Legacy, which is probably like the most casual roguelike, in terms of like when you die, you still get a pretty solid amount of progress as long as you get money.
You see, it's like some people I know get really like pretentious with like their definition.
Yeah, well, that's
like they'll call like Rogue Legacy like a roguelike.
Yeah, I guess the word I would use it is a roguelite with a T, like diet roguelike, because you do keep a lot of progress between.
It's like roguelike elements.
Yeah. Like you're still dying and going through the same things over and over again, but it's still you're keeping a lot of progress with you, which is something that I like. I like Rogue Legacy's balance a lot. It's still difficult, but you can still you're still not. You don't feel like you just wasted 20 minutes of your life when you die. Enter the Gungeon is the opposite in that it's fucking balls to the walls hard. It's like a roguelike meets a bullet hell shooter. And goddamn, it's difficult. I'm only one day into it, obviously, but I've killed 2 floors worth of bosses. The farthest level I've gotten is the 3rd one. And so my friend and I got it because it was on sale, and you can have it play it with a co-op with one friend at the same time. So it was like a good like couch co-op game, but very very difficult. It's beautiful. It's like really good pixel art and stuff. The animations are great. It's it's very silly. You're shooting a bunch of anthropomorphic bullets that hold guns that shoot more bullets at you. So yeah. Lots of crazy guns. I had I think my favorite was probably it was called like the out of a barrel gun or whatever, and you just shoot fish at people. Yeah, it's good, but it was like $9 I think on the sale, so I'd say it's worth it at that point. But I'm not that very far into it.
Oh, man.
I'm terrible at it. But
for some reason, like out of the barrel reminds me of this this one really stupid like secret weapon from like this Lord of the Rings game from the PS2.
Oh, really?
It was like the Fellowship of the Ring game, which like plays differently from all of the other Rings games because like all the other ones are like semi beat 'em ups.
Yeah, I played Return of the King,
Fellowship
I think, and
of the
that
Ring.
was like an action game. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
They're like sort of like I would say like not adventure games, but like they're like 3D exploration type games, I guess.
Okay.
Like puzzlers more often than not, with like some like really weird, janky like action game elements to them. And then like one of the secret weapons is like, so you find Gollum like 3 times in like the entire course of the game, and then in the last level you like find him again, and to like throw this fish at you, and like you're Aragorn and you're wielding this like huge ass pike fish, and like fucking like slicing through like all these like orcs and Uruk-hai like it's nothing.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Huh. I guess what else did I do this week, dude? Oh, I made my friend watch Mob Psycho 100. I didn't catch him all the way up. We just kind of marathon I think it was like 5 episodes. We watched the Teru fight. Like we finished the Teru fight. And he enjoyed it. He doesn't watch a lot of anime on his own, so I'm skeptical whether he'll finish it or not. But yeah, well, it's neither here nor there. I'm just happy that he was hooked by the first episode, and we wanted to keep going. So, god damn, that's that. Well, Mob Psycho is definitely my favorite anime of the season right now. I think I probably said that last week, but whatever, it still is. And besides that, I've been trying to keep on going with Narcos on Netflix, and god damn, that show is so stressful to watch. I'm just every single scene, I'm just waiting for someone to just randomly get shot up. I mean, just get I'm at the point in the story now where war, quote unquote war in Colombia is about to happen because against the narcos and the law enforcement and stuff. So assassinations are happening left and right. So I'm oh god, as soon as someone is standing up to make a speech, I'm oh, that guy's gonna get shot up 74 times. I don't know. I can only watch one episode at a time now. I just can't. Going through it slowly.
I was about to say I saw an advertisement for it the other day.
The second season just came out, I think, this week.
And
yeah.
It looks interesting, but it looks like something I wouldn't actively watch.
I mean, it's difficult because I wouldn't say that I can't really passively watch it. It's not a good second monitor show, only because my Spanish, I only have a high school education level of Spanish, meaning that I hadn't practiced it in 5 years. But yeah, there's a lot of subtitles because all of the scenes with the narcos are in Spanish. They don't talk accented English. They just talk Spanish, right? So yeah, subtitles are a must. And yeah, I can't really have Final Fantasy going on one monitor, crafting bullshit and then watching narcos at the same time. You know what I mean? Yeah, it just takes a lot out of me. It's good, but I don't know. Going with it slowly. I still haven't finished the first season. I think I'm 3 episodes away from the end, so we'll see. Yeah, that's pretty much my week. Like I said, I was pretty busy with other stuff, so not a lot of fun stuff, I guess. But
that's the way to put it. I didn't have fun.
I didn't have fun per se, but no. But yeah, that's my week.
It's the ARC word for this week is not fun.
The common phrase you guys are going to hear throughout this is literally, things could have gone better.
Well, yeah.
I'll go next. Why not?
Let's do it.
So as a lot of you know, thanks to the last episode, I went to get my wisdom teeth taken out. Everything hurts, and I can't eat, and I still had to go to work.
Oh,
so
what?
How's it feel to have a head that's like a few ounces lighter?
So I like, let me put it this way, guys. As a lot of you know, I have an actual day job, and I still had to do that, which requires a lot of heavy lifting and putting on a fake smile, and it was a very incredibly miserable experience, and that's one part of the week. The rest of the week was actually really great.
Good.
Besides not being able to eat and being in constant pain, the rest of the week was fantastic because, as some of you guys know, on Saturday we did a stream for King of Fighters.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That King of Fighters is a game on the channel that is weird because, as much as all of us say we love fighting games, my personal experience with King of Fighters is a very strange one. In the sense that, like, I always it's like that, like, oh sorry, it's like that to that kid in the back of the class where it's like, oh, you know that they're in the same class as you, you both take photography. And it seems like from what people can see, like, that guy is taking some really good photos, but you never talk to them. and you just kind of, you both go through life in that photography class, and you never talk to them.
You see him at the same parties, you just never really hang out and talk because he's talking with other people.
And it seems like you would have the same interests, and like you'd have the same like common grounds and stuff, but you never talk to them. And so I finally talked to that person this week on the Velvet Room, and
after you got a huge makeover and looks more 3D.
Yeah, this one of the reasons why I ended up picking it up was because I heard from a lot of people who I have some other friends who are really into fighting games. And one of the things that was constantly said was, this is a great entry point for people.
Is it? Okay, that's good to hear. Because I'm debating between getting Street Fighter V and King of Fighters.
Get King of Fighters.
Oh, all right, nice.
See, that's my bias right there. Is like and I've tried to explain it before, where it's like I just when it comes to Street Fighter, I can see and I respect why people like that game.
Yeah.
But a big reason I play fighting games is for the aesthetics of it. It's for the overall feel and atmosphere. Like, that's why I love BlazBlue and Guilty. Like, the Arc Sys games look flashy. They look good. And Street Fighter always looked a little plain to me in comparison. So, and you guys can say I have shit taste because their systems are overcomplicated, and I'll agree with you. like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, you guys are wrong, because Street Fighter is like one of the staples of fighting games.
Yeah, basically what we're trying to say is that if your game doesn't have at least 4 different kinds of cancels, then it's really just not worth playing.
if your game there's like that moment where I gotta start backing down, because it's like I could start insulting like people who actually really like
at least
this
a
game.
few meters going up.
Yeah, you need puppets, guys. Really, you need a puppet character. God, I played Injustice for a little bit the other day, and Zod has like essentially a puppet that he's just summons on the other side. It's so lame. It's
Dude,
like,
fuck Zod. Fuck him.
I will find him.
I will find him. Yeah, no. Screw it, dude. Lame.
So anyways, I ended up playing King of Fighters with Strider. That game has a really big roster. It like the King of Fighters games, I think, are known for that. It has a very diverse roster of characters. The thing I can say about it is it's unlike BlazBlue and some of the other games that we normally play on the channel. It seems to be more focused on its normals. You set a lot of the combos you do are with normals, and then you use specials to kind of help continue those combos and such. So like a good example of that is I ended up playing a character whose name escapes me, so everyone on the stream called him Betty Baikun. And he's a character who has a pillow and is cute and he's like all sleepy and stuff.
All right, Googling this guy now. Keep talking.
Betty Bakun. So his name is like Meitukun. He's like one of the new characters. And I had tons of fun with him. And after Strider left, I went back on the King of Fighters for a little bit to just kind of mess around with his combos. And there's a lot going on. Like the cool thing about King of Fighters is it's 3v3. So you pick 3 different characters and you fight against another set of 3 different characters. And there are times where it be based on which character. Like it's a great way to do counters. So like it's not like Marvel vs. Capcom where you can actively switch, which I actually miss. Because that's the one of the things I really enjoyed with the 3v3 setup with Skullgirls 2. But it does feel good to have multiple characters lined up. So as far as a fighting game goes, this is really solid. I'm gonna have to play more, obviously, and I would love to stream some more. If you end up getting the game, I would love to stream with you. Okay, that could be fun. Yeah, and yeah, so that's King of Fighters. How are the graphics? That sounds like so douchey, but like one of the big changes in this game is that it went from 2D to 3D, right? And I remember like some of the initial trailers looked kind of rough, and people were really skeptical about it. But like, how is the
was King of Fighters known for like having like the really beautiful pixel art?
Yeah, that's the one thing.
Okay, so that's the series.
Well, how are the graphics then?
I will say this much. As much did you guys know I'm sick? Anyways, aren't we all? God damn it, Josh. They're not distractingly bad. I think that's the thing that gets me is like when I played the demo and when I played it for the stream and stuff. The game admittedly looks like a high-end, I'm gonna say a high-end PS2 game or a low-end PS3 game. In terms let me put it this way.
In terms of fidelity.
We got spoiled with Xrd and Street Fighter V. That's what it boils down to. We got super spoiled because it's an entirely different idea. Like you can tell that money was put into those games, and money was put into this game too. But I don't think as much. I feel like the money that was put into this game was to make sure that the 3D the combat wise, the 3D transition would be better. Because the game plays fine, and from what I can tell, a lot of people say that the game plays like it's not a jarring difference. Like one of the big things that like happens between the transition between the sprite work and the 3D sometimes is the idea that like will all the frames still be there? Will all the motion data still be there? Mm-hmm. And I feel like as someone who I touched King of Fighters maybe once or twice like a few years back. The game feels very solid as a fighting game, and one of the cool things I really enjoyed about it was just like how and I know this is gonna sound a little shitty, but all the characters' designs, we literally called it King of OC Fighters because every single character looks like someone's OC. Like design wise, it feels like that. Like let me put it this way: in BlazBlue, right? There's this uniform look of all the characters because it's because they exist in that world together. In King of Fighters, it looks like someone designed the first couple characters and then someone else designed the next set of characters, and
I mean, I think part of it is it's like the series has been around since like forever.
Yes, but like I also feel like it shouldn't be as jarring as it is, but it's almost charming because of that. Like the first thing that comes to mind is Betty Bakun. Betty Bakun does not look like he belongs in that game.
No, he certainly. I have him pulled up now. He certainly doesn't.
He doesn't look like King of Dinosaurs does not look like he belongs in this game. By the way, King of Dinosaurs is a luchador who wears a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex mask. Oh,
he doesn't look like he belongs in this game.
like the common theme of King of Fighters 14. None of these characters.
Oh, man. Why do we have like Soul Calibur characters in here?
That's fucking Lizard Man, dude.
Like.
Oh man, they've also got like a Pokemon trainer.
There's Alice looks like she's straight out of like an anime, like maybe like she looks like a character out of like Durara or something. Like just her design, like she like some of these characters are obviously from the 90s based on their designs, and then some of these characters look like they're from like today. Like there's like upgrades to their character designs and stuff where they just look different. So it's. In any other context, this would be the make or break for some people. I actually really love this, to be honest. Because like look at Geese Howard too. Like he just does not look like he looks like he's like the end boss of Revengeance. He looks like goddamn the senator. Like it's just none of these characters look like they belong. It looks like someone wrote a bunch of OC stories or was on like their fanfiction.net account and just threw a bunch of characters that they liked into this game. And that's what's charming about it, and that's why I like it so much. Maxima and Kay do not like. They look like they're not like they have like metal gloves and shoot fire. Everyone shoots fire in this game. Like it's so intense. Like it's so much fun. It's definitely like it's very different, and I think it's almost like the middle. That's what it is. It's the middle ground between Street Fighter and BlazBlue. Like,
okay,
that's what it feels like. It feels like there's like aesthetically speaking, there are characters that look like they could fit in the BlazBlue universe, and there's characters that look like they could fit in the Street Fighter universe. And somewhere, a portal in time opened up, a wormhole, a Metal Gear Survive wormhole opened up and took all those characters, and now they fight in this new world that they have created. I really like it though. Also, Black Butler's in there. His name is
of course.
He. Oh my god, it's gonna kill me.
Hain. I'm assuming.
Yeah, Hain.
Hein is what it sounds like.
He's just black. He's just the second.
That's just straight up Black Butler right there.
He fights like him too, like like the way he moves and stuff. Like it's very real. But it's a very solid game, and
I was just curious, just because like with the whole like the thing is like with SNK, right? This is their first big game they've made in a really long time after they like went to just making pachinko machines, right? So that's part of the reason why you're seeing the 3D models instead of the gorgeous, 2D pixel art.
So they're going like, the opposite direction of
right.
Konami.
That's the thing. Like everyone was kind of holding their breath for this game because it's like, oh, like SNK went total pachinko for like a long time, and now they're just finally like, oh yeah, we'll try to make video games again. Yeah, and that's why you're seeing the relatively cheaply made 3D models instead of the 2D artists, because they just didn't have the money to invest that much in a new project like this. So hopefully this works out well for SNK. I'm glad the fan reception is pretty solid right now.
Yeah,
gives me hope for other pachinko companies.
It makes me wonder if there's going to be like this slang term in like 5 years. That company's going pachinko.
Right. Yeah. Right. Never won't go full pachinko.
God. I will, as someone who just really loves fighting games, this was a great foray into it. I really enjoyed it, and guys, you get to look forward, because something tells me that we'll be probably streaming more, and we're gonna try to do the story mode. We're gonna try to record the story mode, because get this, when you're broadcasting from the PlayStation 4's broadcasting feature, it'll block certain scenes. So we can't do any of the story mode when we're broadcasting from the PS4. So we're just going to capture it with the Elgato and try to do a video out of it. Because I want to play the story mode. I think it looks cool. I also really, really dig like Iori's design. It looks really cool. I've seen his design before, because like I said, the kid in the back of the class you always see. That costume looks really cool compared to what the other costumes he had on, and his other costumes look great too, but like the coat just looks really good on him. So we played King of Fighters. Another game that I got kind of into. I tried to play a little bit of it before we had to do the stream. Was Tales of Zestiria.
Oh, okay.
While I was at the local game store trying to pick up the King of Fighters, I saw King of Zestiria. Tales of Zestiria is here for $20.
Okay, there you go.
Well, you know what? I remember Sora talking about it. Time to pick it up. I played the first hour of it, and I don't know how to feel about it yet. I feel like it's almost. This is gonna sound weird. Maybe it's because I came from Final Fantasy. We've done Tales of Xillia on the channel before. We played a couple episodes of that. I really enjoyed Tales of Xillia. Zestiria feels very different, and I feel like I have to get more into it.
It's a totally different game.
I feel that because let me put it this way, like when you have that big open right in Xillia, where it was like there's spirits, like there's a lot going on. There's spirits, and they got captured and taken into a cannon, and then you guys are accused of war crimes. I'm half tempted to go plug in my PS3 after this and play more Xillia because I have it on there. Zestiria opens up with you are a human living among I guess a good way of putting it is like seraphim. And apparently the human girl that you bring with you to the village can't see them, so that's kind of the reveal, and that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
And it hasn't caught me like Xillia did.
Let's just say it takes its time.
And that's kind of so that being said, I'm gonna see if maybe Gangmudo, because she really loves Xillia, I'm gonna see if maybe Gangmudo would want to stream that, because I know that we're kind of weird on our videos right now, so it's easier to do streaming right now, just because of the technical aspects of it. So maybe she'll be interested in doing that, and maybe we'll do that. And then another game that I got really into today was Disgaea 5.
Oh boy.
So.
Oh boy.
Let's see. Sora, do you remember when I played Disgaea 4?
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, because I think that was before the channel actually. In the fall of 2014, I had a Vita, and I got really, really into a game called Disgaea 4, Alliance of something. And I had never played a Disgaea game before, and I really, really got into that game. It was a really good game. I thought it was fantastic. It was really tongue-in-cheek. If you're not familiar with the Disgaea series, it's a lot of min-maxing. So, like, the stat development in that game is, like, stupid. Like, let me put it this way. You can go all the way up to level... In normal games, you get to, like, what, level 99? Level 99. In Disgaea, you can get to level 9,999.
Jesus.
And the stat... And your stats can go... like, actual stats can go up to, I think, 1 billion. So...
Oh.
Or 900 million or something. Like, it's something ridiculous. So I got really into Disgaea. I never got to that point. just to give everyone a heads up, I'm not that insane. I did have a lot of fun doing the post game, and that's the one thing I really enjoyed about Disgaea 4 was the post game. I loved the characters. They were so like it's so weird because everyone was a joke. Oh my god, what's the voice? Troy Baker. Troy Baker voiced Velvetcast as the main character of Disgaea 4, and he was a vampire who swore he would never drink blood again, so he ate sardines.
Okay.
And he had a butler who was a werewolf, and they were in charge of training these guys called Prinnies, which are like these little penguin guys that run around. And hijinks ensue. That's a good way of putting it. And it's just a really, and then you like there's like the president of the underworld and you're fighting against the presidency, and then there's like a whole other plot going on, and Disgaea 4 is just really fun, and I'm sorry, I really love it. And it's if you have a PS3 or a Vita, go get that game. It's so great. It's so great that I actually ended up playing Disgaea 1 and Disgaea 2. I have yet to play Disgaea 3. I actually have it in the drawer. It was fun story. It was given to us by a fan.
Oh wow, really? Okay.
My brother knew one of our fans when we were first starting off. We were just kind of telling everyone about the channel, and that was the first game we were ever given was Disgaea 3. I think the only reason I don't want to play that game is as shallow and shitty as that sounds. The main character is voiced by Vic Mignogna.
Oh my god!
And that would do it. That's a really shitty reason to not play a game. But I've always wanted to touch it. I think I kind of just want to grab it. But the thing is, I can't play that game yet because now I'm really into Disgaea 5. And for those of you who saw it on the channel, it's essentially you are a wanderer. You are super powerful, and your name is Killia. And you in this giant. Oh, that's something I should bring up. Every Disgaea has a different theme. The fourth game's theme was like the government and the electoral system and voting. They made a joke about
what?
Are you a Demoflat or a Republic boob?
Oh
yeah,
boy.
No, that's the type of game it is. I feel like I've just exposed my guilty pleasure.
Disgaea, your guilty pleasure?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's not a popular game.
No, but
I mean, I would say that it's got like a pretty decent.
Yeah, so I don't know that much about Disgaea, but I've never heard anyone say it's bad. That makes sense. I would call Dynasty Warriors a guilty pleasure because Dynasty Warriors is very divisive, right?
Dynasty Warriors is fucking oh my god. But
there's a lot of people that hate Dynasty Warriors. I know a lot of people that hate Disgaea.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. In 4 it was like kind of like the voting system and presidents and stuff. In this one it's in space. So it's almost like a Star Wars vibe going on. You go to different planets, and essentially the leader of a planet is called an overlord. So it's you and essentially a bunch of different overlords from different planets who are trying to fight against I think his name's Dark Void.
Okay.
And Dark Void and the main character have some sort of past together. We don't know anything about it yet, but it's really goofy, and it's just a fun little like adventure. And there's moments where I'm playing it and I'm like, this is like really tongue-in-cheek anime bullshit. Like in between, the game's divided into chapters. So in between the chapters, like you have like moments where it's like next time on Disgaea 5, and like they do this like joke preview where it's like the main girl's like, oh no, who will I choose? Will I choose Red Magnus or Killia? And it's like it's just it's a little cringy because I'm doing it in the English dub, and some of the voice acting isn't the best, admittedly. Well, because I can't say that, but like at the same time, it's like. Disgaea 4 ruined it for me because the voice acting in that game is actually just it's oddly good. And I feel like a lot of it's Troy Baker as Velvetcast. Like fun fact, when they had to replace Troy Baker for the DLC content, they got Matt Mercer.
Of course,
because
Matt Mercer is like the stand-in Troy Baker.
I know, like I was thinking Kanji. So Disgaea 5, I think chapter 3 right now. I just got to item worlds and stuff, and I'm really enjoying it. We got introduced to another character. He's like some sort of like wolf ninja overlord. He's he's almost like Naruto. Like he wears like a black jumpsuit and like does ninja moves and stuff, and he's all goofy. And I think he's actually voiced by I'm gonna blank on the name. The guy who voiced Caesar in the English dub of JoJo.
Oh, okay.
Who also voiced Chat Noir in Ladybug. And the only reason I could even pick it up was because of Ladybug. But so Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about this guy now. It's a fantastic game. It's a fantastic game. It's not for.
No,
Would you say that it's a good starting entry point for the series?
I think 4 was a good entry point.
Okay.
I feel like 1 is kind of weird to go back to because I tried and it was kind of rough to go through, and I feel like a big part of that is because each one is very tongue in cheek about anime. like it's very obvious that these games were made in Japan and pander specifically to like kind of the otaku kind of stuff. It's never like panty shot bullshit though. It's never like creepy otaku pandering.
Sure.
Which I
so
say
it never
now,
goes full Genshiken.
But like, admittedly, there's some weird stuff. But I guess if I had to tell someone to get into Disgaea, I would tell them to get into this one because this one's the first one on the PS4, probably the last one, admittedly. As much as I love Disgaea, I don't think this one sold that well.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure. I remember hearing something along the lines of like this one not. I feel like what happened was a lot of people from Disgaea 4 like left the company, and so they made this game, and I don't think it sold that well in Japan. But if you're gonna get into Disgaea, and you're just looking for like a casual little RPG to just kind of I can tell you this much, I played all the way from like 4 to like before we started the podcast, and I literally looked at the clock and I'm like, shit, I'm late for the podcast. So I lose myself in it. It's just like the grinding and stuff. It's just very if you like Final Fantasy Tactics and you haven't played a tactics game since the one that came out for the DS, and you like classes and that kind of stuff, or Tactics Ogre and that kind of thing, this is a great game. It's a big joke. It's a lot of fun, and I very much enjoy it. And actually, I will say this much: the English dub is actually pretty okay. I know in the playthrough I said something along the lines of like the English dub kind of sucks, but after playing a couple more chapters, the voices have grown on me, so it's pretty good. It's pretty fun. There's a new Steven Universe episode, which I thought we could all talk about a little later.
Yeah, man.
I spent a lot of the week in bed because, you know.
Yeah.
And while I was in bed, I ended up doing a lot of Overwatch lore research. So,
okay.
I love the lore to Overwatch. I cannot express. I ended up reading some of the comics. I read some of the fake news articles they put out. I went on the Wikia, and I just had a field day and just enjoyed that. I have a really good not good. I used to not like Junkrat. I'm gonna say it. I used to not like Junkrat because I felt like everyone loved him, and I couldn't tell why. He just seemed like he was just another hero in the game. And he just seemed like a war boy, and that's kind of, I'm like, oh cool, he's Mad Max. So like, cause I liked him, I just didn't love him.
Sure.
Now I love him because I read the comic. He's really fun. I love because when you find out his lore, it's really cool. Like he apparently he found some sort of secret with like the omnium, like the stuff the Omnics are made of, and now he has all these bounties on his head. And the relationship between Roadhog and Junkrat is actually a lot different than the fandom portrays it as, which I should have known, but Junkrat hired Roadhog as like a bodyguard. Like that's their relationship. Like and in the comic you read, it's like they're goofballs, but Roadhog will kill him. Roadhog will very much kill him. I feel sometimes like it's very interesting to like, it's a very interesting relationship, and like it's obvious like now that I've kind of seen it with like through the eyes of the actual content and the canon and stuff, it feels good. Like I really enjoy it. And I even on the stream on Thursday I was playing a lot of Junkrat because of that. I just have this new appreciation for him. And like Overwatch is just fantastic, and it'll always be fantastic to me. I'm very confident in saying that Overwatch is probably my game of 2016.
Yeah, it is so far for me too. We'll see if anything tops it, but the year's not over yet. But I'm
watching a podcast. I'll be like, "This Gaia 5 is my game of 2000." Eichenwald came out for us finally.
Yep.
I have been having so much fun. I've been trying to main Zenyatta, and for the competitive season that's coming up.
Interesting time to main him because he just got nerfed. Well, not nerfed, but whatever. He's good. He's still good. But
admittedly, a lot of my rounds that I play Zenyatta, I lose sometimes in the beginning. But as I've been playing these rounds, I've been like, I'll see my Tracer fighting a Genji, and I'll be like, Discord healing, Discord right. Healing. Like I'll just like throw the orbs out, and I'll also start. I feel like it's a lot of micromanaging, and admittedly, it reminds me a lot of playing a summoner in Final Fantasy XIV. Which was like one of my main classes in that game. So it's very crazy and fun, and you get to shoot orbs everywhere, and it's so good. I want the golden orbs. I want the Zenyatta chain around his neck, and I want that as a thing. And I think we're starting that soon, so look forward to that. I'm pretty sure that's everything. I know I went a little far on my end this time.
It's all good.
But I'm pretty sure that's it. If anything comes up, I will let you guys know.
Halfway through Josh's week. Wait, I have something.
If anything else comes up in this week, in like the next 30 minutes, I'll let you guys know.
Well, a lot of the week I was drugged up. Like, I don't remember.
Josh is just in the middle of his week and like, oh, by the way, guys, I started this new game right now.
I guess I did start a lot. I started a lot of games. Holy shit. So Josh, go ahead and start, and then I'll interrupt you.
All right, time to reprise my role as last man. So pretty much this week, similar to everyone else, I didn't do too much. Just back to school and moving out all my stuff from my old place. So I spent pretty much 16 hours on Saturday, just folding up boxes and so. We pretty much hoarded all of the Amazon packaging that we ever got in the basement. So I spent pretty much 8 to 10 hours of that 16-hour stretch just folding and cutting up boxes and stacking them up on the side of the road. And I probably inhaled a lot of mold.
Oh.
I like how the story just went to oh, guys, by the way, mold though.
But yeah, it's swept out the last of my presence there, and I am done with that place. Holy crap, it feels good.
That's awesome.
That's good. That's good, dude.
Aside from that, it's just I reread a few older series that I'd sort of walked away from for a bit, and refreshed myself on those, and just got my competitive Overwatch games through, or my placement games.
What are you placed, man?
I placed high gold. I broke up through into plat not too long ago, but promptly lost a few more games after that. So I'm still high gold elo rating.
Okay.
This just in, Josh, the best Overwatch player among us.
Yeah. No, I got it. Now I have a goal to set for myself. I'm halfway through my competitive my placement matches. So,
I can't wait to get my placement matches and get bronze on the stream. And then I get to come back next week and just be like, well, guys, I am shiny copper. That is my record.
Not any copper, shiny copper. Aside from that, I restarted my Netflix subscription to finish watching Stranger Things.
Because we guilted you.
Yeah.
You people are terrible.
It's not even we. It was me. I did it. I will.
It was not him, but it was I.
Dio, all along.
Oh,
sorry, I'm actually interrupting here.
I'm Joshua Joestar.
I hate you. I never would have thought of Joshua as a J name that would have worked for that. That sounds like a shitty OC.
I will
What's
defeat
your stand there?
Just give me a sec. Cough up my lungs really quick.
God.
Aside from that, it's like, pretty standard week for me. Like, paying a whole lot of money for books and school supplies.
Fun.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
So glad I'm done with that school thing.
Super amazing.
For nerds, right? School's so lame. God damn it, I miss it so bad. I hate being an adult.
Just get to be like a working stiff.
Take me back. I want to go back to school.
God.
Adulting is hard.
I love how as we get older, there's that like emphasis on like, yeah, everyone go to college, do what you need to do, and then like you watch things today, and it's just like you guys know there's like no jobs out there, right? And it's like, oh, okay.
Well,
that's reassuring. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on one second. I'm going to up my recording volume. I should be louder now.
You are louder from my end.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we're into the podcast. So Josh, I'm sorry. Was that all you had to say for your week? I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. I've said my part. No, yeah, it's
okay.
Good.
So, now that I've hogged most of the podcast with my week, I will hog more of the podcast with we normally don't do new segments on the show.
Oh no. You're throwing a curveball at me.
But here's a piece of news for you guys. I'm actually excited about an anime next season.
Oh, really?
Oh,
so that makes one of us.
So, and I don't mean next season as in the fall season. I mean the winter season.
Oh, okay.
Elderlive, the Akira Amano manga that was made right after Hitman Reborn, is being turned into an anime. And it was hard to read this one if you were in the States because it was a digital-only manga. So it was just hard for and it was all. But the cool thing about Elderlive, from my understanding, was it's in full color. So every month you get a full color chapter of Elderlive. So it's about more space bullshit.
Yay! Space bullshit.
It's about space police. So think Hitman Reborn in space. It has a lot of cute mascot characters. If you liked Katekyo Hitman Reborn, which is like one of my favorite anime of all time and manga of all time, even though I'll admit it's sloppy as shit. I go check out Elderlife when it comes out later on.
I'm looking at the key art for this. That is some fucking Hitman ass fucking character design right there.
Isn't it nice to see her designs again though?
Yeah.
Didn't she do like the designs in like?
Yeah,
She did the site. Was it just
She did the character designs for
all the character designs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she.
You can really see it in Akane, but yeah. Anyway, sorry.
I was gonna say the funny thing is you can see it in Akane and you like. Is Akane the guy or the girl? I feel like
Akane's the girl.
It's the Mulder and Scully argument. Oh shit! Which one's Mulder? Which one's Scully? Shit.
Oh shit! I haven't looked at any of the anime charts for the next few seasons.
Yeah, dude. I'm just all wrapped up in this Mob Psycho and JoJo thing. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I have been wanting to get into one anime this season. I think the problem is anime isn't something I do to relax. It's something I do to like be involved.
It's a homework assignment.
Yeah, almost. Like I feel like that because you know me. I take things a little too seriously sometimes. So like instead of like just sitting and enjoying and relaxing with it, I'll be like over analyzing shit. And like I want to. There's times I just want to turn off my brain, and
just watch a card game.
Oh God. Yeah, that's probably.
Or a good old harem.
Tiger Mask is getting an anime unfall apparently.
Just check out Food Wars. I'm sure you'd love it.
Oh yeah.
I read Food Wars. I think that was one of the last manga I read before I realized I think I'm done.
Hey man, it's great.
I say I haven't been reading a lot of manga or anime, but like I have been doing like a lot of other things. I did check out all of Cheers and all of Frasier. I did finally watch
the polar opposite of anime. That's awesome.
I watched all Adventure Time, and
oh really?
I've been doing a lot of like more American stuff, and I've been playing more games. Like I feel like a lot of it's like I'm either playing music and learning songs, or I'm like I don't know. My sister's boyfriend is also into anime. And I wanted to kind of bring this up a little bit because she said something to me that was kind of, it was interesting. Her boyfriend watches everything. When, like, he'll watch one show, finish it, and then just start the next show without, like, really taking it in or anything like that. And I feel like that mentality is very much like, watching anime because it's anime is not something I could do. And I know that there's people out there who do it. Like every season, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch everything," or "I'm gonna watch a bunch of anime just because it's anime," instead of because it interests me or because it has an interesting story. I don't think I used to do that. I don't think I can do that anymore. So I thought that was an interesting thing. I mean, the only person I could think of that was close to that was Josh, but like,
hey man, I don't watch everything. I literally do not have enough time in my life to watch all the anime.
I feel like if you did, though, I feel like if you could activate
there's
your
some pretty terrible stuff out there.
If you could freeze time like Dio, and instead of the world, it was like a fat otaku of the world, and like you created a space where you could safely watch anime, like. I don't know. I guess it's just I mean it's a different way of doing things, and it's to each their own, obviously. But like I've had that realization where it's like I'm not actively excited for anime anymore. There's a few exceptions to that rule, obviously, but like
I would say it's like when you do that, you sort of start to treat anime as a genre rather than as a medium. Which I think is sort of bad for the health of the thing.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you should be treating anime as a medium rather than just one subsection of like...
Yeah, it's like, you don't consider it as like some monolithic thing where it's like, oh yeah, that's anime.
Sure. Okay.
What are your thoughts on this, Sora? Do you watch anime because it's anime?
No, I watch anime because I like anime. Like that's a really terrible answer, but I like to watch what I like to watch, and a lot of that happens to be animated shows, and a lot of animated shows come from Japan, and usually there's like as with any sort of show, any show, like a lot of style is imparted from kind of culture from Japan. So I guess that's, I don't know.
I feel like part of it is like a lot of the people who consume anime now, like, are just really big fans of animation rather than being just fans of
right,
anime.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, it used to be, like, when I was younger, I was like, okay, like, yeah, I just want to watch something that's, like, I want to watch an anime because I want something that has an anime art style or whatever, where now it's just, like, I just want to watch something with a cool art style, Like, I love Steven Universe's art style just as much as I love Code Geass's art style, you know what I mean? Code Geass is probably like the more like stereotypical like anime art styles, right?
Now, that's like that's Planet.
Strange.
Yeah, because it's Clamp.
Planet.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, exactly.
Clamp, not Planet. Christ, that's how out of it I've been.
Right.
Oh god.
Using Clamp as like a mainline reference.
Oh god.
What's the last really big Clamp anime?
Oh fuck, I don't know, dude.
Jesus Christ! I think wasn't it Triple X Holic or something?
Yeah, Holic.
That's probably it.
And that was like, and that was like when we were like we were freshmen when that came out.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I feel like essentially all it really boils down to is like I don't think I I feel bad in the sense that I go to anime conventions, I'll see something and I'll be like, that looks cool, and then it's like, okay, that's it. That's probably my biggest interaction with that fandom. But like,
well, there's just so much, dude. Like there's so much anime coming out now. You can't possibly keep up with all of the big shows, right?
Yeah, that's a really valid point.
Like I think that's like I've just gotten gradually more selective in that, like I give anime less time before, like if it doesn't wow me or if I'm not interested, then I'll just drop it, you know, like nothing against the show. It's just that, all right, well, I have a bunch of other shows that are also kind of like if I'm watching a show and it's not grabbing me in the first, like, you know, 2 episodes, I'm like, well, I gave it a fair shot. If someone else tells me I have to watch it, like it gets good, like episode 7 or whatever, then maybe I'll go back. But
trust me, man, you gotta watch Durara.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
You shouldn't feel guilty about not watching a series. You know what I mean?
Of course. I mean,
you shouldn't feel guilty if you don't watch a series unless I recommend it
right,
to you.
unless Josh or I recommend it to you and you haven't watched it.
Well, okay, but like that. So what I was gonna say after all that is, I think because I've taken like this, it's not an active, like, I'm not actively not watching anime. I think it's more like because I just haven't had an interest in some of the shows that have been out. When I do watch something, I have a bigger and better appreciation for it.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have to have like an anime quota, by the way. You know, like you shouldn't be like, oh, I think I've let go of the fact that like I'm a guy who likes anime. It's more like I like shows that I like to watch. A lot of those happen to be anime. You know, I don't think you need to be like, oh, I don't watch anime anymore. It's more like, oh, I just haven't watched much anime lately. You know what I mean? I haven't watched any shows lately. If that makes sense? I don't know.
No, it does, and it all stems to the point. There's like this whole thing where it's like, I remember when we were fucking teenagers, and like, Josh and I had a conversation where it would be like, oh, you know, do you think we're still gonna be into anime? And I feel like, or when we're older. And as time goes on, I realized that like it's exactly what you said. It's not about being into anime. It's just like it's about being into storytelling. It's about like the medium itself,
right?
And how they express, you know, everything that works with it. And but the whole reason that I'm kind of going into this is because there are times where I forget I watched a series. Like, I've somehow erased the fact that I watched 200 episodes of Gintama. I don't know how.
That show is like really heavily praised too. Like that's not a trash show.
It's not a trash show. It's a really good show. But somewhere down the line, I forgot that I watched that show. So, because what happened was I was on Tumblr and I see this GIF of something that was from Gintama and I'm like, oh, I remember that. And then I'm going off doing something else and I'm like, why do I remember that? So I don't know where.
It's like those episodes in like every fucking TV show ever where the fucking character gets amnesia.
Essentially, like I don't like. That's the thing. Like it's like One Piece, right? I read all these chapters of One Piece. I watched all this Gintama, and there are times, like, I guess maybe it's because it's not active in my life, or it's because I don't see it on a, like with JoJo, it's like I read all of JoJo, but like I'm still actively part of the fandom in some ways. Maybe it's like it was a fun ride, and then I moved on from it, but like I feel like those bigger series don't have near. Maybe it's because it's, how do I word this? Death Parade. This is all going to Death Parade. It was a series I watched earlier this year. It was a fantastic anime. It's probably one of my favorites of all time, to be honest with you. Just because of how it looked, the theming of everything, the subject material. It's something that was right up my alley. Death Parade was like a fucking-tastic. It is so good. The theme is just so memorable and iconic. And while there's some episodes that are very slow, and you know, it's not a traditional like anime in terms of just like how like the tropes and stuff. And it just left this huge impression on me of just like, you know what, this is the kind of anime I like. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like when I think back to Gintama, I watched 200 episodes of that. It did not leave nearly as big of a mark on me as Death Parade did. Like in those, like, and I feel like a part of it's obviously like that was 12 episodes. Gintama was 200. Like, I feel like that's kind of one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, it's also like the difference between like a show like Family Guy and like a show like True Detective, where it's like they've got very different focuses.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry to go on a little tangent there. that's something.
No worries.
No,
that's like,
you totally reminded
what is a
me that I
podcast but
need
a
to watch
series of
Death Parade.
tangents?
Like down below in the comments. Down below in the comments, tell us if what big anime you guys are really into, because I am gonna try to get into one this season or not even something from this season.
Just airing.
Yeah.
Or not even current, I guess. What anime are you watching?
Yeah, what anime are you watching? Because I'm trying to think of something that could be fun for me. Like I'm actually considering doing something where I'll go on Tumblr, post like, hey everyone, I'm gonna be watching this. Who wants to go on Rabbit?
Why would you watch that trash?
Like, well, I think because I like the fan interactions I've been having. Like, our fans are amazing. Like, I rarely have bad fan interactions. All of you guys are so wonderful, and I'm not just trying to kiss your asses here. I'm being very legit. For being on YouTube for 2 years, when we were doing 8th, we would get some pretty big trash. like we would get shit on a lot. Doing Velvet Room is a completely different experience, and our fans are fantastic, and I feel okay to do that kind of thing. Is a good way of putting it. And maybe a part of that is because it's 12 episodes and not 200. We have a smaller subscription, like a smaller fan base than one of the larger ones, like we did for 8th. So, anyways, I'm thinking about watching something. If you guys have any suggestions, let us know. I'll keep you guys updated.
Oh, don't worry.
Follow us on the Tumblr, and that should help. I'm gonna try to do some things where it's like, if we're doing a stream, I'll post like a 5-second video on YouTube that says, "We're live now. Here's a link," like something along those lines. Because I do know that none of you, some guys don't follow the Tumblr, so that makes sense. But anyways, the big subjects for this week were the Steven Universe episode, the Future Boy Zoltron.
Oh, Zoltan,
yeah. And something tells me because of the contents of that episode, we might not talk about it as long, so we're going to go into spoilers for Stranger Things. So,
whoa.
I'm actually genuinely excited about both of those. So let's talk about Future Boy real quick.
Yeah.
I really liked this episode. I know sometimes on the channel, it sounds like I don't like the slice of life, crazy, noisy, bizarre town episodes. And I'm really into the Stardust Crusader episodes. But that's the best way of putting it, I think. But I really enjoyed this one, mainly because I thought it was cute. It was a very cute episode, but it was an interesting use of Steven's or I should say the future vision idea. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It was good. I enjoyed it, and it was very cute. I also liked the whole insight with the future vision stuff, like the way that Steven sees all of the possibilities in a row, and it was kind of depressing. Like, no matter what you do, the result will be sadness. And I'm like, oh god.
I feel like it reminds me of this one Nicolas Cage movie. Oh! If you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh my god, I hate that movie. What a shitty movie.
We gotta steal the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, dude! If you ever have one of these days, we all have to hang out and have a shitty movie marathon. That's gonna be on it.
Oh, National Treasure!
To watch,
I love it.
No, not fucking Next. Nicolas Cage just put some really shit movies out there, but that is a real shit movie.
Shittier than Knowing?
Oh god.
Knowing's pretty shit, but
yeah.
Knowing is pretty shit, but Knowing is still put on TV. Next isn't.
Okay. So. That tells me all I need to know. Anyways, back to the episode. I don't know. I've just been never really all that interested in Mr. Smiley. I guess you know.
You mean Sinbad? You've never been interested in Sinbad? He's not voiced by Sinbad anymore, but it's
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh, but you know, I always thought he was for gags. Well, whatever. That's not to say he can't not be for gags, but you know, whatever. I don't know. I thought it was fine. I just wasn't feeling it this episode. I don't know why. Maybe it was just my mood. I only watched it once. I usually rewatch the new episodes. Maybe I need to watch it again and see how I feel about it. But yeah, I don't know. Just, you know, it was fine. It was good, but not amazing. I liked the fact that Mr. Smiley had kind of a deeper character moment with I guess what Mr. Frowny, Quentin is his name, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, and that was like interesting, but I also felt that it was just kind of sort of out of nowhere. I don't know. No, it was good. It was good. I liked it. I don't want to shit on it too hard.
I almost enjoyed how it was dealt with because it's. I feel like maybe if they gave out too much information about what exactly happened, maybe it wouldn't have been as.
It's not so much like what exactly happened between them. Like that's fine. Like I don't need to know exact details. It's just that. Oh, I don't know. I don't really know how I would be happy with it. Where it was just, maybe it was just the fact that I just met this character and I literally know nothing about him except for that he's sad all the time, you know. And so I didn't have that much emotional attachment to him, and I didn't have much emotional attachment to Mr. Smiley either, because he's just been a punchline up until this point, you know.
Yeah. No. I can get that because I mean it would be one thing if the character was here to stay, but he left at the end of the episode as well.
Right.
So,
yes, that's true too. Yeah, and so it felt very one-offy, and I'm like, which is fine. Like that's not a bad thing. But I was like, okay, like I don't really have that much more insight into the current characters. You know what I mean? I don't have much more. Well, maybe a little bit of Mr. Smiley, but maybe it's just because I'm not very interested in Mr. Smiley. But whatever. That's just me.
What about you, Josh?
I guess I did like the touch where he did leave the town. I thought it was interesting. It's a nice moment to cap off pretty much.
Josh, can I be upfront with you?
Well?
Was this episode about us?
Oh yes, absolutely. God.
I actually had that thought at the end of I watched the episode and I was like, why is it that why are these tears coming from my eyes? Is it because I've lived a past
Mr.
life?
Smiley?
As Mr. Smiley? God.
Oh wow, I didn't think of it like that.
maybe that's why I like this episode so much. God.
Oh, no, that got really real for a second.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Josh.
A bit too real. Well, it's like, you know, I like the fact that it's not something where there's, at this point, the relationship between the two is long, like, over, and there's not really anything to fix. It's just they're both getting closure, I guess.
That's a good way of putting it, actually.
And granted, I think the episode certainly suffers from not having any kind of, like, foreshadowing or setup for, like, the big character moments for Mr. Smiley, but I think it works definitely as, like, something of a one-off where you get a feeling that everybody in the town has lives beyond the town. Like, as far as, like, connections to other people.
Mm.
Like, you know, you don't just end up living on a boardwalk. Like, as, like, something where you're born there, you live there, and then you live your entire life there. People tend to, like, sort of come and go, I assume, with places like that.
Okay. All right.
And it's like that. That's pretty much all I've got on that episode.
I mean, I like I said before, we're not gonna go like super in depth about it because let's face it, it like everyone has kind of said, it's kind of a one-off episode. And it's not like we're gonna see him again. He's gonna be the villain, Mr. Frowny. It was me. I was Pink Diamond all along.
Mr. Frowny, no.
God. So I think that being said, let's move on to the thing I've been trying to set up for 4 weeks now. Stranger Things. Spoilers from this point on.
Yeah, man.
If you want no spoilers, skip to the end of the video because I have no idea when this is gonna end.
You should just give them a random timestamp, and then like at that timestamp, we'll just say a fake spoiler or something. You know.
I can't believe the sheriff was actually an alien.
Monster is Jaws all
and then
along.
Rick and Morty show up, and holy shit, dude! The 2D animation spliced in was great.
It was weird when
some animated pizzas just walk across the screen. It was weird
when Doc Brown showed up for a minute there.
Oh, Doc Brown, of course.
God. So yeah, let's get into to it a little bit. So this show was honestly one of the best things on Netflix.
Ever.
Ever.
I genuinely enjoyed the show. I thought it was something I didn't know it was coming. I didn't know it was gonna be a thing.
Yeah, it just kind of happened, and then I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll watch this. Oh.
This is like I feel like a lot of this is like a lot of this boils down to if you like a good understanding of how to make a movie that does not take place in the present. What I mean by that is like the show takes place in 1983. So the whole world is immersed in this 80s nostalgia, if you will. Not only like with like locations and like aesthetics, but also it pays a lot of homages to 80s movies. The thing that I hate the most when a movie takes place in a different time period is how they almost shovel in things to make it like, oh look, it's the 70s, there's a disco ball. It feels very shoehorned sometimes.
Sure.
This was one of the most natural feels to an era. They didn't shout, oh, this is oh, isn't this Michael Jackson stuff good? Like, they didn't shout anything like that. They just were very immersed in their world and treated it as if like, oh, this is just how it is. Because guess what, everyone? That's just how it is for people. And I guess this wouldn't be as much of a thing for me if I didn't watch some pretty bad movies before watching Stranger Things that had that exact problem in it. So,
I would say it's something where it reminded me again, like what it was like to live in a world without cell phones.
God, that's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh man, that was how it was.
I feel like this story almost couldn't exist without being put in the 80s backdrop. Like,
it's like, I mean, we existed like, you know, pretty much like our childhoods existed a decade after, but it's like we felt like the aftershocks of 80s culture while growing up. So it's something where it's really dear to our hearts. At least that's my assumption.
Sora?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just zoned out there completely for a second. Sorry.
Wow. Well,
sorry.
welcome to the podcast, everyone.
Just too overawed by the monolith of Stranger Things.
Yes, that's exactly where I was. My apologies.
Were you in the underworld? What did
the upside down? Yeah, that's
the upside down.
There we go.
The upside down.
Oh shit, they had
flickering lights and everything.
Good
Sorry.
like terms for things. God, the upside down was like fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed, a little bit, just by the fact that we didn't get to see more of it, I guess. But maybe that kind of added to it in a way. I don't know.
I feel like if we had too much of the upside down, it would sort of break the show.
Yeah, well, I mean, too much early on for sure, right? Like, I guess I should say, I don't even know. I'm saying that I want more upside down, but you're right. Like, it added to the mystery of it. And like, oh man, like what the fuck is that place? You know, it was really cool the way that they shot it. Oh man, I don't know. There's just so many questions, that I don't have answers.
I really feel like they missed the boat with the monster design, though.
You think so? The Demogorgon wasn't doing it for you?
Yeah, it's like, it's like when they like when it was just like this huge anthropomorphic thing without a face. It's like it was so much scarier than when it's like face opened up and it's like a fucking like it's a Rafflesia
right
flower, if you know what those are.
Yeah, I think I don't know if they could have pulled it off, but one of the cool, like, it reminds me of that did you guys either of you guys see Edge of Tomorrow? Either of you?
I didn't watch it.
I heard a lot of good
Okay, well, you should absolutely go watch it because it's really good.
I heard it got rebranded and like
it's called like Live Die Repeat or whatever. Live Die Repeat.
It's such a good title when it's like rebranded.
Yeah, it is, but whatever. Anyways, marketing screwed the pooch on it. It was a great movie, but the main thing about it was that it's an action movie with aliens in it, right? But the aliens aren't the point, and so like you never really get a clear shot of what the aliens look like in the movie. Like whenever, like, there's like huge battle scenes and stuff, but the camera, like, it gets really shaky whenever like the aliens show up, so you don't really get a good view of what they look like, and that kind of adds to the terror of them because you just see like mankind getting absolutely slaughtered by these creatures, but you just don't have a kind of a really good sense of what they look like, and that kind of added to the terror a little bit, and I think they could have done the same with the Demogorg maybe. Those last few scenes, like, it would be hard to avoid, like when like Eleven took down the Demogorg and stuff like that. It was in view a lot, but like when we didn't really have a very good sense of what it looked like, that was the best like part about the monster.
Yeah, it's like definitely.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how just the acting was phenomenal on this?
Yeah, dude, lots of great child actors.
Like, that's the thing. So I know that this is going to be a little weird to say, but the child actors were phenomenal. The teenage actors were, I actually thought they were kind of lacking, admittedly.
Really? I thought Jonathan was pretty good.
I thought they were fine. It's like young Norman Reedus and then, like...
Jonathan's definitely young Norman Reedus, you're right.
It's like, I saw that kid and it's like, did they like age down Norman Reedus?
Daryl Dixon.
Right.
I actually, there's moments where it works, like, and they're good, but there's some moments where they're kind of chewing the scenery, and it's like I don't know, I like, it's hard to explain because it's not something, because from an objective standpoint it's great, it's a good job. But there's a few scenes that kind of threw me off a little. Like, just...
I mean...
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I personally thought it was just sort of... They worked off of these, like all the tropes really hard for the high school stuff, especially.
Right.
And I think that's part of what might have done it for you.
Definitely. That's what I was about to get at, was that, like, all the plot lines, like, relating to the teenagers, especially in the early episodes... was definitely very campy, 80s, like 80s movie, like romance movie kind of, tropes, like
they're the kids that are supposed to die.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
okay.
In, like, the horror movie.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to actually like be super duper.
I mean, I'm not going to say that they were as impressive as the child actors, especially Eleven's actress, but still, I thought they did a good
actually
job.
appreciate that for the child actors, like they didn't choose like classically like beautiful looking kids.
Yeah, right. They didn't choose. Yeah, exactly.
Also, no, that makes a lot more sense. But can we talk about this? Something that I really appreciate, and I know I'm kind of jumping the gun here a little bit, but one of the things I really appreciate is the way it ends. Specifically, how Jonathan and the girl, I can't remember the name of the girl. Shit. How Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy.
That's right. I remember now because fucking the name was so unsexy. It's like, oh yeah, it's Nancy.
Oh Jesus. No, it's real. I guess I wouldn't have thought of it like that. But I love the fact that they didn't end up together. I was like that because in the back of my mind as I was watching these two on screen, I was like, oh, this is the way it's gonna go. Okay, because I know in the 80s it was a big thing to kind of do it where the nerd gets the girl at the end, and it's something that I actually really don't like in movies, mainly because it feels very shoehorned in and most of the time, and I was really concerned where it's like, everything in this series is great except for this one thing that's going to happen at the end, and I kept dreading it, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I actually was sitting on the couch, I like sat up straight, and I was like, oh my god. Like, they're not gonna do it. Like, I was actually genuinely surprised because it's so ingrained into me that's what they would do.
I was expecting for the fucking like asshole to like die.
Yeah, the asshole boyfriend. I forget his name. Crap. Oh, whatever. You know, Nancy's boyfriend. But like, he actually, like, you know, he stacked up, and like, to be fair, like, he acted pretty much how like a normal teenage boy would probably act. You know what I mean?
Like you.
Like yeah. He wasn't an uber douche.
Well, you know, like, it was almost relatable. Like, he's a total like uber douche in the first half, but then you slowly realize that he's only uber douche because he's with uber douche friends and wants to impress his uber douche friends, you know.
Yeah, he goes back to like clean up the mess.
Yeah, right. And like, we found out that he didn't actually make them. Like, I had assumed that he like actually did the spraying, not just watched it happen, right? And still, just watching it happen was obviously a shitty thing to do, and he owned up to that. But it was good. But then also like he also like stayed behind and helped fight the Demogorg too. Like that, you know, that was a nice little, like, if predictable but solid character moment for him, you know.
I actually thought he was gonna drive away. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was.
Oh yeah.
You know what? That's it. That's what this boils down to. Every time a trope was going to happen, it didn't, and like, I'm so used to it happening that maybe that's why this just feels like a good show to me in a lot of respects.
I mean, areas like they do execute on tropes. It's just they reverse the troublesome tropes.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at, like, an 80s movie and you see, like, a trope that you go, that wouldn't fly in a movie, or that shouldn't fly in a movie today.
Right.
The series feels good, and one of the let me put it this way. I watched the first episode, and I was like, okay. I watched the second episode, and I'm like, okay. I do not know which episode. As I say this, and I don't remember. I think it was episode 3. Where they find the body. That moment was so real. Like, when they find the body, I thought, I actually was, that's the moment for me that I was just in. Like, that was like the music, the acting, the emotions from every character. Like, I mean, obviously it's a red herring, which I actually didn't guess for half a second there, which means I didn't guess it. But just that moment, so good. The way that the scene is lit, the way, like, everything about it, like, it's just a really good scene. It's a fantastic way to end an episode, and like, I just thought, like, that's one of those moments in the show that's really stand out to me, you know. Like, the thing with the show is that it has so many good, memorable scenes, and I feel like that's one thing from Breaking Bad. Like, watching Breaking Bad was like one of those experiences where, like, there's a couple of scenes that are just memorable, that leave with you. And with Stranger Things, like, I watch a lot of shows, but that's one of the things where it's like there's certain scenes that leave that you get to take with you. Mm-hmm. And like that's the scene where they find the body is one of them. The scene with the light bulb with the lights was another one. And then
where it's like the mother gets into the car and she's about to leave, and like, will you stay or will you go? It's playing in the background.
Yeah.
She just looks at the house and goes back in. It's like, shit.
Yeah, that was really well done.
There's that, and then there's also the moment where they finally get the kid whose name escapes me now. Will, yes, the where it's flashing, it's cutting between the death of the sheriff's daughter and the resurrection of
it's getting some Last of Us vibes there. I don't know. That's just what it reminded me of a little bit.
Like, the sheriff's character is also fucking phenomenal. The actor, I've never heard of that actor before in my life, and like he does a fantastic job.
I hope he gets more work. He did really well.
I got a lot of vibes from this show, but the two things that I had to explain to my dad, like, because he's interested in watching the show, I had to explain to him like what were good things to bait, like if there was a couple things to compare it to, what would it be? I said Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks, yeah.
And
Super 8 probably, yeah.
Twin Peaks and any 80s movie, because that's kind of what it feels like.
80s movie. Sure.
And like I said, I just really enjoyed the show. And I know that is there anything that you guys want to add, actually? Come to think of it?
That soundtrack was fucking phenomenal. It's great. It's fantastic. The intro is so good. Oh my god, I love it. I love those like heavy synth, tunes. It's that so intro. Good. It's like something straight out of Tron. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, dude, like it's so good. And also, Josh, maybe I guess both of you guys. I don't know if you remember the funeral scene, like where they're burying the fake body. They use the same song that that was used in Metal Gear Solid 5 trailer. I think it's called Elegia or whatever. Do you guys know what song I'm talking about? Yeah. Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why. I'm obsessed with that song. That song is like so bizarre and haunting. It's so good. I remember watching that Metal Gear Solid 5 trailer, and that's literally what sold me on the game. You know what I mean? Like I bought that game. I wouldn't want to say just because of that trailer, but that was what piqued my interest in it, having not played a Metal Gear Solid besides 4 and Peace Walker. So, but yeah, that song in particular was really well done. That scene in particular was really well done. The soundtrack was great. The cinematography, holy fucking shit! Just the way that the show was cut, the transitions between scenes and stuff, really, really well done. I hadn't been really taken aback by that level of cinematography since watching Skyfall. You know what I mean? Like Skyfall was like the one other movie that like I was like, as I was watching, I was like, wow, like this is a really pretty movie. Like Stranger Things is a really pretty show. Very, very.
It's really rare when you see like a movie with like enough restraint.
Yes.
To, like, just hold shots really well.
Yes. The editing is great. Yeah, every shot just lingers just for the right amount of time.
It's like, and it's hard to like just notice it too.
Yeah.
Where like.
I think it's to the point where if you notice it.
It's become rare enough that like we actually notice when like things are cut this way.
Yeah, and in a way, if you don't notice the editing, that's also really good. But like, if you're taken aback by it too, like that's just something. Then that's when you're watching something really, really special.
I just wanted to say real quick, one of the things that like really, because we're talking about kind of just the overall like feel of it right now. Mm-hmm. The pool scene is another thing that just stands out in my mind.
Oh shit!
Specifically because of the lighting. The fact that most of that scene is lit from the fucking pool lights, and just I don't know. There's something like I was thinking about it, and I'm like, in any other movie they would have had like, oh, here's some lights, here's some tiki lights, for the excuse for lighting. But there's something about that where it's just like a lot of the lighting is just really good, and that's not something you're supposed to notice, but like
it's the fact really that it's good. Like really varied and like interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was listening in on another podcast, and one of the things that they brought up was the idea that, like, there's a scene, there's a couple scenes where there's where Jonathan's trying to convince Nancy of something, or they're talking about something. They're trying to talk about what's going on, and Nancy's trying to talk to Jonathan and convince him that, like, there's something going on. There's a monster or something. And the way it's shot apparently is Jonathan's in the light and Nancy's in the dark. Like, it's something that you wouldn't necessarily notice.
Yeah.
And then as she's trying to slowly convincing him, the way that the shadow starts to go over his face or something. Like, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of work and love put into this. So.
I mean, it's stuff where it's like, it is all subservient to the storytelling, which we haven't seen in a long time. Especially with anything with like a decent amount of money and put into it. It's like, recently we've just been getting stuff that's sort of like popcorn entertainment. And there's not really any logic to like how the scenes are shot. There's no like message behind like, how the camera is placed or how people talk to each other.
Yeah. I mean, not every piece of media has to have that, but it's definitely worthy of being praised when something like a show like this like does it so well.
Well, I mean, I feel like for the future of the show, if they do a season 2, which I hear that they are, I don't want to go back to that story. The thing that makes it really great is the fact that it's very much a standalone. Like, I would feel like a second season could ruin it. I've never watched True Detective. It's something I've always wanted to watch, but like, where do you even watch it? So, but like, I hear that the second season of True Detective just ruins it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, like, a lot of people were hoping that it would go True Detective style, in that seasons 1 and 2 are completely unrelated, but it sounds like this is going, like, season 2 is going to be a direct continuation of season
really?
1. Yeah, same characters and everything. I mean, we had that small little cliffhanger, well, a few cliffhangers at the end where, we saw slugs coming out of Will, right? So he still has some sort of lingering infection within him from the Upside Down. And then we have the question of whether or not Eleven's still alive. After the sheriff was putting Egos in that little box, like wooden box in the middle of the forest, right?
And of course, it's like the sheriff definitely knows more now.
Oh, definitely.
He went into that car, yeah.
Yep.
So, I
think we should come into season 2 with measured expectations. I think I'm not expecting it to be as amazing as season 1. I just hope that it's solid continuation.
I'm going to come into it with expectations of like Psycho-Pass season 2, where it's like, I will expect shit so that if it's really good or if it's like half decent, I'll still be able to enjoy it.
Right. Yeah. If it's half decent, I'll still enjoy it. Right.
I feel like a big part of the reason I liked it in the first place, or that I started to really, really get into it, was because it felt like a very pleasant surprise. So with that in mind, I guess I'll just be more. I'll know what I'm getting into, like because it's Netflix and because of I have seen some of their other shows. I'm looking very forward to how they handle the second season, because I think that Netflix does a really good job with their shows. I am only using the one show at the top of my head that I can think of, which was Daredevil season 2. And I need to watch like other seasons. Like, I want to watch BoJack Horseman season 2, but then I'm like, do I want to feel sad today?
Right. Yeah, that's my problem with BoJack Horseman, is that I don't know if I can handle it right now, dude. Just where I'm at in life.
Like, I don't think I can watch. Like, I hear the best review I've ever heard for season 2 of that show was like, I watched it with my girlfriend. After I watched it, we had an incredibly serious conversation about our lives and where we were going. I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to bail. I think I'm. Not today, Will Arnett. Not today. So, that being said, though, I have strong faith that Netflix can pull another good season out. The directors seem to really know what they're doing.
I think the nature of the show will have to change, definitely, for it to be really good, and it'll have to be good in a very different way.
It's just Psycho-Pass season 2. Like, it's they don't even bother. Like, it's just like the actual episodes of Psycho-Pass season 2 with like the English dub. Like,
I mean, like, part of the reason why Psycho-Pass season 2 failed was because it tried to do Psycho-Pass season 1 all over again.
Yeah.
So, so the things that worked really well in season 1 of Stranger Things, like, probably one of the things that added the most to, like, all of this was the fact that they had, like, literally all of these distinct groups of people based on age working on the same mystery.
The one thing I did kind of like, I would say I was kind of looking forward to was the idea of that, like, they would all get together at the end and do the finale together. But they ended up having, like, their own individual fights. What I was hoping for was that it was going to be, like...
It turned into, like, a super team?
I guess the best way of putting it would be, I was hoping for Marvel vs. Capcom where they would switch in and, like, do combos. And it turned out to be King of Fighters, where it's individually like done.
Right.
I feel like the only way to really express how I feel about it.
I think the best moment was probably when everybody finally fucking got together, and it's like they put all their pieces together and figured out what was happening.
I also wanted to just say real quick, I want to quote Josh from yesterday. Josh and I had a conversation about. We pre-gamed this a little bit, and one of the things that that Josh said was, you know what my favorite part about Stranger Things was? That science teacher got laid, like super laid.
Man.
No, not just laid. He got fucking super laid.
Yeah,
that's your favorite part.
Holy shit, the science teacher knows how to get him, dude. Holy fuck, he's batting way out of his league. God damn, God bless him. God bless him.
I like the idea that like that was like we were having.
He's punching over his weight class.
We were pre-gaming this. We were like, all right, let's make sure we cover all the points, and then that came out of nowhere. Like,
I think part of it is I appreciate that like the fucking science teacher knows who he is.
Yeah.
And like fucking he's confident and like, you know, he's like geeky. He has all these things that he likes that nobody, like a lot of people back then didn't really understand too much, but he has the confidence to like carry it through and the passion.
That's a good point. We should all try to be a little bit more like Stranger Things' science teacher. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't remember his name, but he's a role model nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's like he cares about his students. He has a super shit ton of like passion for all the things he's doing.
He's got a hot girlfriend. That's the most important.
Oh yeah. He's like the guy you want to be. He's got a hot girlfriend who seems to, you know, appreciate him.
Yeah.
For like being what he is.
For her like 10 seconds of screen time, yeah.
Yeah, she seems to be a not terrible, like shallow person.
Can we talk about how like we didn't talk about Winona Ryder's like fucking role in this movie, but like we're talking about the fucking science teacher?
Hey, man.
Yeah, dude.
Because I mean, we could talk about it, but instead we're talking about super science teacher.
We're talking about the important
plot related
here,
guy, yeah.
The plot related stuff.
I love how much of a shit the stepdad was.
Wait. I'm sorry. Which stepdad?
Not the stepdad. The Will's dad.
Oh, Will. Wait. Oh yeah. Will. So the one like where Jonathan goes to visit, right?
Yeah, and then shows up later after the funeral and stuff.
Yeah.
Not to derail Science Man.
What an asshat.
But like I just wanted to bring it up because boy oh boy, like that it's one of those tropes that you kind of saw coming, but they took it to a whole nother level. Yeah,
it's still like you still felt the betrayal.
Well, he was fucking real.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like he was like a real asshole. You could feel like you could see the pores.
Right. You didn't have to figure out. They didn't have to tell you exactly what happened between him and Winona Ryder to know that why they're separated. You know.
Oh yeah. Like it's there, but yeah, no, Science Man though. So.
But Science Man.
I feel like did we get everything we wanted to say about Stranger Things out? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess it's like, you know, just I really loved that. Like they had all their little like separate storylines going on simultaneously, and I think that is the reason why it works so well for me.
Yeah, it handles the ensemble cast very well, and it's just a really fun watch. You know, really fun watch.
It's definitely one of those things where I didn't expect myself to watch all 8 episodes in an afternoon, but I did. So,
oh yeah, I pretty much started like late at night and then went into the morning. It's like shit.
So yeah, if you guys haven't, and if you guys listened to that whole spoiler-based review and haven't seen Stranger Things, go check it out. It's definitely one of those shows where it's like I don't like to watch series twice because of time restraints and stuff, but that's actually one of those shows that I would totally give it a second watch just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, same.
So, that being said, yeah, that's Stranger Things. So that pretty much sums it up for this episode of the podcast. I mean, is there anything else we want to add besides the fact that JoJo's is entering?
JoJo's is so good right now. I'm loving it.
Like it's
good.
To continue from last week, it is in my favorite part of part 4. So
yeah. I really like Kira so far, and I'm excited to see how he develops.
Isn't he a good villain?
He is. I think he's a great follow up to Dio. You know what I mean? Like I think he's as good of a villain you could have to follow up Dio, and that he's the exact opposite of Dio, and that he's so mild-mannered compared to the flamboyant, bombastic Dio. You know what I mean?
Kira just wants to live a quiet life. Bombshell that is Dio.
Right.
God.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Instead, we get fucking Christian Bale, American ass psycho Kira.
God damn it.
So good.
I really think you guys are gonna like where it goes. It's definitely one of those. I actually haven't been watching the anime, to be honest with you. I missed the last couple weeks because well, I not the last couple weeks. I missed last week because I'm waiting for it to build up so I can because I know where it's going.
Yeah. Okay. So we're midway through the sheer heart attack fight.
Oh yeah. That's some good shit.
Yeah, it's really good. It's awesome. I'm loving it.
Sheer heart attack, one of those abilities that like you don't think about as a stand. Like
right. It's weird.
I just wanted to say real quick to anyone who wonders why maybe I'm not like I actually, to be honest, I have gotten a recommendation from a fan for an anime, and I wanted to say real quick one of the reasons why because they also had asked me whether or not, or why I felt like I couldn't watch a lot of shonen series anymore. It's because JoJo's ruined battles for me. A lot of fights in anime involve punching and energy waves and techniques, and the mental loopholes and bullshit that people in JoJo's have to go through is 1,000 times more interesting to me. And honestly, a lot of the psychological stuff is where I like. So like that's why I like Death Parade and Psycho Pass and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, so I think we're about done with the.
Yeah, time to get an MXO anime out of the door.
Yeah, that guy, because he's gonna get an anime. Let's do the comment section and then we can head out. How about that? Because we're every episode of the podcast gets longer and longer as we do this. The first comment from today is from Astral Muffin. I haven't watched the podcast yet. I haven't watched the podcast yet. I'll update my comment in regards to that after I get caught up with SU and watch it. Okay, that makes sense. But I had something I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of. Did you hear the news that BlazBlue Central Fiction isn't getting an English dub? The reason that was given via Twitter is that they wanted to release the game worldwide at once, which isn't bad, but the bad part is that they didn't even tell the English cast in person. I felt bad for Patrick Sates, especially since this is the conclusion to Ragnar's arc as the main character. Here's hoping that if there is a big enough fan outcry that they'll add a dub to the extend version. Spread the word, Velveteers, and keep being awesome. I heard the news from you first, Astral, and then I looked it up. So
that's interesting. I definitely like his idea of it being added in for the extended version. I think it's shitty that they didn't tell the actors right away or whatever. They weren't upfront about them. They're like, hey, listen, just heads up, don't plan on this work happening or whatever, you know?
Well, Sates is also the director for that stuff, too.
Oh, he's the voice director as well? That's really shitty then, but well.
Actually, there's a read more. Oh, there's more!
Oh, shit.
Seems like I could have watched it after all, since you guys barely talked about SU at all.
Oops.
Hearing you guys geek out about the JoJo is making me consider getting into it more and more, especially since I've been watching the Two Best Friends LP of Eyes of Heaven. Two Best Friends play are super great. Go check them out. Also, I'm glad that Bleach is over too. It way outlived its interest factor. I'm glad to hear that I didn't step on any toes or anything. I'm one of those types of people that tries to get along with everyone and hates upsetting people like Steven. Well, Astral, you... JoJo's is fantastic. It's one of my favorite shows of all time and one of my favorite manga of all time, and I cannot recommend it more. Also, when it comes with BlazBlue, I understand the appeal of doing a worldwide release.
Honestly, I think hitting a worldwide release target makes sense for the BlazBlue's fan base, just because so many people that play BlazBlue over here in the States, I don't think mind Japanese audio. You know what I mean? So I think from a business standpoint, I think it makes perfect sense.
Also, they have BlazBlue. Certain BlazBlue fans are insane and will get the Japanese copy before the English version even comes
that's
out.
True too. Right. Like, so if anything, like they're saving some crazy fucking weeb people some money. If I were to know any of those weebs that would buy it like that.
God.
Spend $80.
I actually have been really looking forward to Central Fiction. So
does it look good? Does it look solid? I haven't bought a BlazBlue game since Continuum Shift Extend 2, just because we played so much Chrono Phantasma when you bought it.
So it looks okay. Here's the thing: I have checked out on the story for BlazBlue. I was following it for so long, and then I'm out. I'm done. I cannot do it anymore. It's very convoluted and it's very crazy. But mechanics wise, it looks really good. The new characters look really solid. The best part about BlazBlue is it's an arcade game first, and then it's a console game. So you get a lot of those tests to make sure all the characters are balanced and feel good and feel right before they get in. The game looks great. I think you're gonna like the new characters. The cool thing about BlazBlue is it's always I always felt that it's kind of tongue in cheek about being an anime, anime deconstruction, and the new characters Naoto and Hibiki I feel like this, like Ragna and Jin are like the anime protagonists of like the late 2000s. And now we have like the Attack on Titan protagonist, and like that, like we're in the next generation of anime deconstruction, and I think that's kind of cool.
Wow, yeah, I'm looking him up right now, and you're totally right. Wow, wow, that person is straight up Saber. That's straight up Saber.
Yeah, I know, right? So,
I'm looking at S right now.
Oh yeah, she's from the visual novel actually.
Oh okay.
So I played that. Anyways. BlazBlue's looks really solid. I do like the idea of the extend version getting a dub, because Patrick Sates and that team have really worked hard on this, and honestly the dubs for BlazBlue are really well done. Patrick Sates does a fantastic job as a voice director, and I think that it would make a lot of sense. I do think it's really shitty that they didn't tell him, but to be fair, it's Japan. I hate saying it like this, but like there's been times where this kind of shit happens. Like people won't hear about it, just like Kojima and MGS5.
I mean, I feel like Japan just sort of doesn't really understand that there's an international market.
They don't care. So anyways, so that's Astro Muffin's comment. He also says, I usually don't double comment, but I just wanted to add this. Good luck with you getting your wisdom teeth out, Mitch. I hope you have a quick recovery, and if you don't upload anything, don't worry about it. Take time to heal if you need it. Well, I super appreciate that, Astral, and I just wanted to say that. Library of Alexandria says, this was a great Velvetcast. I like the idea of an Overwatch movie. And, what's up, Sora?
Oh, no, nothing. Okay. Just taking the compliment.
I like the idea of an Overwatch movie, and the rest of the conversation was interesting as well. I'm thinking of watching Steven Universe finally, and ReZero after listening to this. Also, if it is okay to ask such a question, since Studio Trigger was mentioned, I know they did this anime called When Supernatural Battles Become Commonplace. I found it was really good and amusing, and was wondering what your opinions of it, if you had any opinions of it about it.
Confession time. That's the only Trigger anime I haven't seen yet.
It's on my list of things to do, but I do know this. I've seen a scene from it where the voice acting is phenomenal. I really need to watch that. Josh, did you watch that one, actually?
I watched it in the entirety because you mentioned this scene. Probably the best scene in the anime. Maybe, unfortunately. It's probably one of my favorite pieces of voice acting for that season of anime, actually. A lot of people pan it because they don't understand that, like, you know, they think the character herself is boring and like sort of annoying, but I understand how someone would feel like that. And I think I quite enjoyed the show. I don't think that it was like the most amazing thing ever, especially considering all the other Studio Trigger anime that it's sitting next to, but it was interesting, to say the least.
It's on my list of things to watch, so I'm sorry that I don't really have much more of an opinion on it. I did hear nothing but good things, but that's pretty much as far as that one goes. So, also, I'm actually thinking of watching ReZero too.
Okay, cool.
And Library of Alexandria, I will say this much about Steven Universe. I know that a lot of the stuff happens around episode, like at the end of season 1, that's when it really picks up. But I totally recommend watching it from the beginning, because you get more of a sense of what the characters are like. It's almost like the crazy, noisy, bizarre town. Like, the first couple episodes, like you get to fight gems, you get to fight other stand users essentially, and then some real big stuff happens, and it changes things a bit. So I totally recommend watching it from episode 1. Hulu's a great place to watch it, but there's obviously other ways to do it. So, also we have another comment from Rough Fressenden. Here's the thing though, Josh really covered this, so I don't. It's a giant checklist of anime, and Josh kind of covered this.
It's actually just manga.
I'm sorry, it's manga. It's a list. It looks like it's a list of manga he finished. No, he didn't finish it. I think he's recommending it.
Yeah, it seems like a really big recommendations list.
And then you gave out. You actually did a really good job responding to it. Actually,
I have actually read a whole bunch of like sort of works by the same authors for a lot of these, so like it's surprising, but I actually have opinions on most of these recommendations.
I'm reading the comment right now. You literally went and answered a lot of it, so I don't, for the sake of time, I'm not going to read this one off, and I feel kind of bad about it, but you already addressed it. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much the end of this week's podcast. If you liked what you saw today, give us a like. If you have any comments or questions, or have any, like, just in general about the channel or anything we do or anything that you're interested in, just leave it down in the comments down below. If you feel like maybe we're super awesome guys, why don't you go ahead and share that with your friends or something, because we're super cool, right, everyone? Here?
Super cool.
Oh, boy.
We're as cool as that science guy.
Yeah, man. We all strive to be that science guy.
One day.
I feel bad for people who skip the Stranger Things conversation.
We need to find out his name and constantly reference him.
Hold on. Stranger Things. Science.
We will not end the episode until we get this name now.
It's motherfucking crap. Don't give me a top 5 best characters Stranger Things. God damn it, this is family. Google's failing me.
We need the IMDb page.
I'm pulling the IMDb page right now.
Science is happening right now, guys.
Science Man. Where's Science Man? Mr. Clark.
Mr. Clark.
Science
We gotta
Man.
be as cool as Mr. Clark.
Mr. fucking Superman.
Yeah,
Mr.
dude.
Clark, the science guy. Clark. All
right, okay. I think We're past the point of no return.
You're like, well, I think you're just ready to bail. You're so done.
I think I'm ready to bail.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Cool. All right, have a good night, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you guys.